Hey, OT entrepreneurs. This is our second free feature Friday. I don't know if I said it in the right order. Triple F Friday. And we are joined with a gem. We have a gem. We have so many amazing people in this group. So I'm glad that we have the opportunity to take some time to get to know our participants a bit more. And Sue, I feel like I kind of knew you because you're very active in the group. You know, you are always responding to questions, particularly about Medicare, which you responded to a question I posted on Monday. Appreciate it. So I was trying to figure out, can we see this person? They want to pay privately. They have Medicare. For those of you who don't know, Medicare Part B, considered outpatient, or some people call it outpatient in the home. You cannot provide that when a person you can't bill for it when a person has home health. And I was trying to figure out, well, if they want to pay for it, can they sign the ABN? And I felt like they could, but I wanted a reference to it. And I actually said, so you don't know this, but I said this to my business partner. And before you responded, maybe Sue will respond. And then I was doing something else when you responded, and she screenshot it and said, "Your girl Sue came through." And I was like, "Okay." So welcome, Sue. I don't want to talk too much because I know I can go on rambling, but welcome. And I would love for you to just share with the group who you are, what you're doing, and then we can talk about how we can support you, and they can know all about the resources that you're providing.
Well, thank you for the opportunity and for all you do for OT entrepreneurs, because that's really important. And it's great to have that community and support each other because, when we were in school, well, my school was many years ago, so 45 years ago when I graduated as an OT, but we didn't get a lot about entrepreneurship. And I know that's changing a little bit, but it's really important to encourage people and to see us out there because OT has so much to offer the world. And I can say that because I've practiced OT in three or so four different countries. So I'm Australian trained. And so now encouraging people again to be entrepreneurs. You know me from Medicare stuff. I've been doing Medicare credentialing now for many years and helping people start Part B practices. And I like the complicated cases in Medicare. That's the piece. But that's not all that I do. Having been in OT for 45 years, I've worked in lots of different areas, including academia, volunteering, setting up volunteer clinics and nonprofits and stuff, as well as many areas of practice. But when I decided to retire from being a faculty member, I was like, I'm going to set up my own practice and I'm going to just have a cash pay and I'm going to do home mods because I started doing home mods back in 1980, would you believe it, in Australia. And so at that stage, it's still doing the same thing now, basically. I was like, oh. And then all of a sudden, my office was near a chiropractor's office. And I said, oh, I've got my first patient. I'm doing this. And she said, you have to bill Medicare. So then that came to all the learning about what needed to be done, how we needed to set that up, and to not have people make the same mistakes that I did. So I put together a course on home modifications and certifications. And the reason why I set up the chat certified home accessibility therapist is that when you look at most of the other trainings out there, they're for construction, for even the bathtub salesperson can take this course. So it doesn't really help us with our role as therapists. It doesn't help us understand our options, which go beyond construction. When we look at it from a client centered perspective, our options can be, are we changing client factors? Are we changing client caregiver methodology behavior? Are we able to look at DME that can come in and be part of that? Can we look at architectural or constructural changes? So, it's a much broader context than these groups that are set up just for that. So that's kind of why I have that certification course, but I do coaching and I do help people with their Medicare Part B getting set up. I'm working with some billers now to put together a course so we can understand outpatient billing. Even when I taught at the university, we taught some of it, but it's not the same when you're out there in the real world having to do it yourself, right? And deal with what was
That
this
part.
denial about? Did they not pay it?
It
What's
can
the
be quite
modifier?
complicated. Yep.
Yes. Yeah, so we're putting together that course. But I also One of the things in my private practice here, I got a lot of referrals for people with hoarding disorder and did a lot of research on that. So I have a course that's available on hoarding disorder that gives us really practical tools, practical assessments, ways to measure outcomes, ways for us as OTs to really shine in our role there and support the other team players that are working with these persons. Then, with all that's in the news now, disasters. We prepared ourselves personally, but if we go on and make these changes with our clients and we order equipment, what happens when there's a disaster? What's an emergency? Have we prepared our clients and their caregivers for what is an emergency or what could be a disaster for them, as well as for ourselves? So I have a course on that as well. That's available. And these are actually all AOTA approved CEU courses. Yes, that was a lot, big task in
I was
itself.
gonna say that's a lot. It's a lot of work. That you can do a whole course on that. How do you get get your
Yeah.
courses to be able to
Yeah.
be approved? I remember looking at that years ago, and it's a lot of paperwork. It's a lot of paper.
Yeah, and they have a new course coming up now on wheelchair assessments for the outpatient therapist and
Okay.
just the pros and cons of whether it's Medicare or Medicaid, what does that look like? How do you do the assessment? What are some of the ethics? Because there has been some really big fraud cases lately related to this, and a lot of therapists have got burned in this situation. And we're talking multi-million dollar cases. So I want people to not fall into that trap when they're trying to set up an entrepreneur business and someone offers them this deal. You want to
Yeah,
make
yeah.
sure that we're not in that. So that's going to be that course there, how to do the assessment, and that should be ready within a month with
Okay,
AOTA
excellent.
approval. Yeah, it usually takes a couple of weeks. So
Well, question. So you have all these different courses, and I think very practical courses are needed because these are things that you probably not gonna find in your textbook, right? Like if you go back and look, or if you're a student, is there an option to like sign up to have access to all the courses, or more than one, or like some type like a subscription?
I haven't got to that part yet. I'm trying to put together more of a course catalog,
Okay.
but they're reasonably priced. Like the hoarding course is $49.
Oh, very affordable. I
Yeah,
guess
and this
affordable is subjective, but in comparison to many other courses, that's a reasonable
yeah, the
cost.
certification course is 30 hours, and that is more expensive. It's $725. But compared to the caps and all of the and ECHM, it's well within the price margin for that. Um, yeah, as the course catalog improves and as we bring in some more products and stuff, we're looking at that. But at this stage, my graduates have a program that they can get, which is $25 a month, and we meet once a week and we go through different topics. On Wednesday night, we talked about how to work with workers' compensation, what that looks like, what the assessments are for home
Mhm.
modifications. We have someone coming from Capable Program to talk to us about working with them. We do different things, bring equipment suppliers in and stuff. So, I'm trying to make this affordable. What we want is quality OTs out there representing the profession and being in the community because we have so much to offer.
We
My
really do.
newsletter is free, the Facebook group is free. So, I'm retirement age, but I want our profession to shine. We have a
Mhm.
lot to shine and to be able to offer.
Agree. Now you said you're graduates. What are they graduating
From
from?
the chat certification, the certified home accessibility therapist.
Okay, okay. So they get the certification and then they can join this group,
Yes.
$25 a month, which is again, like I said, I know it's subjective, but that sounds very reasonable to have access to this expertise with all the experience that you have and that these, you created AOTA approved continuing education courses. So tell us how can they get to this? Like I'm going to post this in the group, but then under that, if you can include the links, you can shout out any type of ways of connecting
Yes.
here. But
So yeah, so my website for them is called the homeaccessibilitytherapist.com.
okay,
And we have a Facebook group called the Home Accessibility Therapist. The If you go to the website, down at the bottom, you can sign up for the free newsletter there. There's
Okay.
also a free chart that compares all the home mod certification programs so that you can look at one that best meets your needs. If mine isn't going to do that, you want something that's going to work for you. And that's really the key when it fits into your career picture and what you're looking at.
Agreed. Agreed. So free, affordable expertise, AOTA approved. Like what else? What else can you ask for? This is a deal. So please, if you are interested in any of these topics, please take advantage of what Sue has created with a genuine heart to really help OTs thinking about all what we can offer. I have somebody, as you were talking, somebody just messaged me 2 weeks ago, interested in home accessibility and trying to figure out who's the expert. And I knew you did that, but as you were speaking, the connection came. So I'm gonna text him after I get off of this video call so that he is aware of it. And our group members, again, take advantage. After I post this video, Sue, if you can go under the video and just put those links in so they can click on them and
Absolutely.
go directly to them. Anything else you want to share as someone who's so seasoned with so much experience in diverse places, like as an educator, entrepreneur, course creator,
Volunteer free clinic.
volunteer, the disaster, like this is a very yeah, just a lot of diverse experience. And that workers' comp, somebody used to rent one of my office spaces who did workers' comp, and it can be very lucrative for those of you who are not doing workers' comp. And the people who reached out to us, they were saying that it's very hard to find therapists who are willing to do workers' comp
Yeah,
assessments. And
exactly. And, we were talking about the fact even being subpoenaed to give evidence and stuff. And I've done that several times, not just in workers' comp, but also for pediatric cases. And so, yeah, my first entrepreneurial experience was pediatric clinic and workers' comp at the same
oh
time.
my
So
goodness.
it was an interesting juxtaposition. But it can be terrifying. But the other thing is, OT has so much to offer. And as people realize that, and as we're more in the community, I think there's more awareness. And you see lots of negative things about therapy and therapists and stuff out there. But I have to say, in 45 years, I don't regret my career choice one bit. And there's so many options for us there. But sometimes we have to think outside of the box,
Yeah, agree.
right?
Yes, exactly. And I do also see the negative, like we don't make enough money, there's not enough jobs. I do know the insurance. Trust me, I know I bill insurance. I know that we have not
Me too.
gotten an increase and there's cuts, 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 all the things. And at the same time, it is an extremely rewarding career. And if you develop good business skill set, entrepreneurial skill set, you can make money. You might have to deal with some challenges depending on the reimbursement structure, but there are lots of different types of ways to get funding or revenue for whatever you're doing. And
Oh,
sometimes we're just narrow like this,
yes.
insurance, and there are options. There are options and there's ways to diversify. And so I
There
appreciate you
absolutely are. And
highlighting
I think,
positivity in our profession.
yeah, and I think each of them are focused on uniquely your community and your environment. And so that's again why understanding your community, being part of your community, being willing to take a risk and put yourself out there also comes to play in that.
Mhm.
And that it will pay off.
I agree. Agree. I've said agree probably 15 times. Y'all probably saying, why she keep saying it? Because I do. I do. This is what my students do. The snaps to say that. Right on. Spot on. Okay. Thank you so much, Sue, for your time and for being part of this free feature Friday. And I'm going to post this video and hopefully you all will connect with her. And I'm sure this is not the last you're going to hear from her because she's extremely active. You ask a question, if she knows the answer, she's going to give that information out freely to you. So I appreciate that as well.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
All right. Have a
Bye.
good rest of your day.